In the 5th century, it was one of the most prized commodities in the world, for the Ming era saw the first true porcelain. Today, Ming vases are worth a fortune. They are bought and sold like works of art. The fleet needed a huge amount of porcelain. Production in imperial workshops rose 50 times with the fleet's voyages. Soon the potteries were producing only for export. For Zhang He, porcelain was the key to global trade.
做生意的很多是遇货交货，或者是用中国的铜钱来买卖，但是遇货交货比较多，让当地的商人来看我们的货，我们也看他的货。那么一些传说呢，就是商人定下来，有的手到对方的许边去，用4啊这为这个数字定了以后呢，拍账定价，不能后悔。
The Chinese had no interest in humble European produce like wool or wine. They preferred to trade their white gold for spices. In the 15th century, pepper was sought above all else. The spice coast of India attracted generations of Chinese traders. Chinese influence can still be seen in the methods of some Indian fishermen. They use nets like giant scoops with a set of weights and counterweights attached. It makes them more efficient, and it was a Chinese invention. Today, this method is as common off the south coast of India as it is off the coast of China, a knowledge transfer dating back to the 15th century. However, trade and knowledge were not China's own reasons fetching the imperial fleet. An essential part of the fleet's mission was to exact tribute from foreign rulers. Paying it would acknowledge the hegemony of the Emperor of China, for every country had to acknowledge the dominance of the Ming dynasty. Not all of them were willing. The King of Ceylon resisted the Chinese demand for tribute. Zhang He was not always a peaceful ambassador. He was quite prepared to back China's claims by force. In Ceylon, he made a show of strength. He landed troops and declared war. It was the only significant land battle that the imperial army fought outside China. Nonetheless, China became a power to be reckoned with. Her fleet was a threat to any country that refused to recognize her claims to dominion. Usually, the mere appearance of the fleet was enough to ensure that the Chinese demands were met. In Ceylon, the defiant king was replaced by a cooperative rival who paid the tribute. China merely rattled her sabre. The Middle Kingdom ruled not by conquest, but by showing the flag. How did Zhang He keep the various squadrons of his fleet together? Sound signals and a semaphore system were used for communication between individual ships. For longer distances, they used air pigeons. Communication was particularly important when danger threatened.
这个还好，海它是没有大涛的浪，就是很大，慢慢的浮上那碰着，有这个坡浪，有个坡过，就是很大的。 就是我们这个还不是很紧的、很松弛的样子，它也同样有这造的浮上来浮下去。人基本生存的人都知道，海边呢肯定有台防。
On the high seas, the fleet organized into smaller flotillas. When danger threatened, the formation could be changed at any time. The Western Indian Ocean is notorious for its sudden storms. They blow up nowhere. Were the junks able to withstand these tempests? The crews had to act quickly. To reduce their exposure to the wind and to prevent the masts from breaking, they shortened sail. But in a really bad typhoon, that might not be enough to keep a ship from sighting. Then the anchors had to be part lowered. That made the ships more stable in mountainous waves. It was a perilous task. But the ships could cope with storms. The fleet reached the port of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf. And not only Hormuz, it visited Aden 3 times. Here, the Chinese were less interested in exacting tribute than in finding out what countries lay beyond the Indian. They traded here too. An Arabic document records the visit of the fleet. According to the report, Zhang He and 3 companions were received by the king of Yemen. Why were the Chinese interested in Arabia? Far in present-day Oman is a source of frankincense. It's tapped from boswellia tree by sifting the bark and allowing the exuded resins to harden. When frankincense is burnt, it gives a sweet aroma. There was a large market for frankincense in 15th century China, where it was used in temple rites and in medicine. With its anti-inflammatory properties, frankincense is still a crucial component of traditional Chinese medicines today. Medical textbooks were revised and Arabian treatments were incorporated into Chinese medicine. The precious resin was indispensable on board too. A guardian of the frankincense minded the burning joss sticks day and night. Their even burning down divided a day into 10 watches. At night, the fleet navigated by the stars. A bearing was taken on certain constellations, and the navigators measured how high they were above the horizon. Then they worked out their own position at sea. They compared their results with charts of the night sky. Star charts like these showed the course from Ceylon to Sumatra. On every voyage, the ships were laden with precious goods from all over the world. The fleet even had ships for transporting horses. The Chinese army bred horses, above all the strong Arabian thoroughbreds. They were used in defending China's northern frontier against the Mongols, who came on nimble but smaller horses. From Arabia and Persia, the fleet made 3 expeditions to Africa, to what is now Somalia, Kenya and Tanzania. Its southernmost port of call was Mombasa. Chinese, this was a new foreign world. Yet here too they found luxury goods that made the long voyage worthwhile. Ivory for the palanquins of the rich, rhinoceros horn as an aphrodisiac, and exotic animals for their entertainment, especially the giraffe. Chinese folklore told of a mythic creature called the Qiling. It was regarded as a talisman in China. In the giraffe thought they had found it.